Yeah, so my name is Eyram Tawia. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Leti Arts, and I'm glad to be shedding light on uh, how we in Africa are using games to impact the climate and also help with the green practices of climate change. So I'll just dive in quickly. And at the end of this talk, you would clearly have a landscape of how the gaming industry in Africa is doing this. So Leti Arts is a strategic partner to a lot of leading global companies, mostly providing serious games to most of the brands that you see here on this slide. Basically, we were founded in 2009. We have offices in Ghana and Kenya. We focus on African content, meaningful African content that make impact. And one of our biggest franchises is Africa's Legends, which has over 80,000 downloads since we launched. It's founded by myself and my co-founder. Together, we are self-taught game developers, and we are kind of the originators of gaming in the sub-region. Now we have a lot more colleagues all making this industry happen together on the continent. So quite prominent in the media as well. And this is our team. Very vibrant, young, energetic um, ladies and gentlemen trying to make gaming something on the continent, a profession on the continent. So these guys are brave enough to take the first move to make this happen. And how do we do this? We do this by being very vocal in the industry, right? We are industry growth specific, and we try to raise awareness on issues that impact our society. So the cultural problem is mostly in Africa. We have two walled gardens. We have education and games. If you read, you are serious. If you play games, you are not serious. That cultural problem is very evident here. So what most of us have been playing with is how can we make games relevant by bringing education and games together. And that forms the basis of our approach. And we do this through some cool stories that we have over the continent. So I think most of you have not heard about these characters, but they are very prominent on the continent. Anansi, Shaka Zulu, Pharaoh, of course, the Pharaoh, the Egyptian mythology, most of us know. But these things have not been digitized in full ways yet on the continent until recently through the gaming industry, which is springing up. But we know in the West that these three guys alone are over $2 billion, right, worth. And all these guys are very prominent on the continent, brainwashing most of us to just know that the best always comes from the West. So we are trying to see, to answer the question, can African superheroes create the same effect as the three superheroes that we just saw on our screen, which is Superman, Batman, Thor, and all these Marvel and Justice League Avengers, right? So we saw the success of what Black Panther did, right? Black Panther created a huge impact on the Black movement of Afrofuturism. Became very evident that this is really possible if told right. So we bring to you Africa's legends, leveraging on over a billion population, 3,000 plus cultures, 55 countries across the region, bringing you cool superheroes loosely tied to historic figures and stories on the continent. And it's these heroes that we use to actually impact the continent with our message. And that is where we are also using the climate change message as the main carriers. So if you look at how these superheroes look like, they carry charisma, they carry culture. So when they deliver messages, it's much more impactful. So let me just show you some of our products. Kamza, what you see here, is a superheroine that communicates um, um, cerebral palsy in the disability space. So Kamza lives with cerebral palsy, and was written by a lady living with cerebral palsy. So Kamza has been massively successful since its launch, advocating for cerebral palsy in the disability space, and is creating change all over the world, right? So through superheroes, messages are communicated better. And this is one example. The next is the sectors that we've actually delved in. We have health, we have civic education, medical training, education, political change. We touch on all these issues across the continent. One of the prominent games that we released was Haki, which was directed to tree conservation and the environment. And this was done with our partners, Afros. And we released it as a Java version, which was back in 2012, 2013, as well as Android. And it was hugely successful. We had over 300,000 downloads in East Africa alone. And this was directly impacted with the youth. They actually got to learn about how to conserve trees. The research actually showed that people played the game for long, right? We had an average of about 15 minutes to 20 minutes of gameplay each time that someone picked up the phone on the then Java phones, the Symbian phones. And this was really impactful, right? In a region like Africa that doesn't have much gaming presence. Then we have Mighty Joe through our partner Parables Animation Studio. Mighty Joe is like a fighter, right? Fighting for climate change, preserving the environment, keeping it clean, like Captain Planet and all that, right? So Mighty Joe is also a very huge superhero here. The next one is by Careful Games in Senegal, Clean My Beach. Also a very impactful game that we are enjoying here on the continent. So Senegal is in West Africa, and you can find this game on the Play Store. And we also have Hot Seat. Hot Seat is a trivia game where you can choose your quiz master, and we have quizzes on climate change that is populated in a database, and people play and win rewards. And these rewards are actually tangibles. Some are phones, some are data, airtime, and one of the biggest telcos here is also using it to engage its customers, right? So these are interactive ways that we are using to engage our customers. The same way with this exploration game, which explores Africa from east to west and actually makes you understand the wildlife landscape of Africa. Also a very green-focused game that we are yet to launch, but is almost complete in development. So I can go on and on. Kamza, I have said already, these are some screenshots from Kamza. And we are just currently also running a livestock game, almost under completion, and it's also in the same field. So you can see that Africa has a lot to give when it comes to game development. And you can check us out at letiarts.com and see all the numerous games and services that we provide. But this is how we are changing Africa one game at a time, changing climate change one game at a time. So not only are we starting a company in Africa, we are starting a whole new industry in Africa. So join me and let us build a game industry in Africa together. Thank you very much for the opportunity.